Good morning, students. Today we can see the jaundice and epilepsy in pregnancy. When the serum bilirubin level exceeds 2 milligram percentage or now visible yellow staining of tissue appears, we call it as a jaundice. The overall incidence in India is 1 to 4 per 1000 deliveries. The causes of jaundice during pregnancy may be grouped into jaundice peculiar to pregnant stage, jaundice unrelated to pregnant stage, jaundice when pregnancy is superimposed with chronic liver disease. Pregnant, it is peculiar to pregnant disease are intrahepatic cholestasis, severe preeclampsia, eclampsia, HELP syndrome, acute fatty liver of pregnancy, severe hyperemesis gravidarum, endotoxic shock that is disseminated intravascular coagulation. Unrelated to pregnancy it include viral hepatitis, gallstones, drug-induced and hemolytic jaundice including mismatched blood transfusion, malaria, Clostridium bilharzia infections, etc. Jaundice when the pregnancy is superimposed on chronic liver disease include chronic hepatitis, cirrhosis, and tumors. Obstetric cholestasis or obstetric hepatosis or ictus gravidarum. Obstetric cholestasis is the second most common cause of jaundice in pregnancy, the first one being the viral hepatitis. The overall incidence is 1.2 to 1.5 percentage of pregnant Indian women. The stasis of bile in the bile canaliculae with a rise in conjugated bilirubin is probably due to excess circulating estrogen. Similar manifestation is also be observed in women taking contraceptive pills. Genetic, familial, and abnormal progesterone metabolism have been observed. The manifestations usually appear in the last trimester. The onset is insidious. Generalized pruritus is predominant symptom. There may be weakness, nausea, or even vomiting. Jaundice is slight. There is a rise in levels of AST, ALT, and serum alkaline phosphatase. Bilirubin level rarely exceeds 5 milligram percentage. Liver biopsy shows no evidence of necrosis but shows the features of intrahepatic cholestasis. The increased incidence there is increased risk for preterm labor, low birth weight babies, meconium stained liquor, IUD, and postpartum hemorrhage. Prothrombin time should be monitored. The features subside within 2 weeks of postpartum. Treatment with medications are not supported by any evidence. Choli- Cholesterol is effective for itching. All women with should be given vitamin K to reduce postpartum hemorrhage and neonatal bleeding. The neonate should be given vitamin K as routine. The combined oral contraceptive should be avoided in women with a history of obstetric cholestasis. Prothrombin time should be monitored. Urodextrolic acid is found to be helpful. It is increased bile acid secretions. It improves purity. Its recurrent rate is high, that is 50 to 60 percentage. Epilepsy in pregnancy. The effect of pregnancy on epilepsy is uncertain. The frequency of convulsions is unchanged in majority. The frequency of convulsion is unchanged in majority, increase in 45% and decrease in about 5% of women. Serum concentration of anticonvulsant falls in pregnancy. All anticonvulsants interfere with folic acid metabolism. Folic acid deficiency has been associated with neural tube defects and other congenital malformations. Effect on epilepsy on pregnancy include incidence of fetal malformations, IUGR, oligohydramnios, preeclampsia, stillbirth are increased. Birth defects are increased by twofold. The, the, this could be related to the severity of the disease with its genetic predilection and also due to anticonvulsant use. Pattern of abnormalities is related to the type of anticonvulsant drug. The malformations include cleft lip or head palate, mental retardation, cardiac abnormalities, limb defects, and hypoplasia of terminal phalanges. Sodium valproate is also with neural tube defect. There is chance of neonatal hemorrhage and related to anticonvulsant induced reduction of coagulation factors. The risk of developing epilepsy in the offspring of an epileptic mother is 10%. Preconception counseling include to initiate monotherapy if the possible replacing polytherapy. To administer folic acid 4 milligram daily. Importance of prenatal diagnosis is to be discussed. Management. The dose of chosen drug should be kept as low as possible. Valproate and phenytoin are found to be most teratogenic. The commonly used drugs are carbamazepine, phenytoin. Lamotrigine is given, it is not an enzyme inducer. Newer drugs like Saftia, topiramate, and levetiracetam. Serum levels may be measured in patients with frequency to assess therapeutic levels and complaints. Fits are controlled by IV phenytoin with a slow loading dose. It is highly effective, has long duration of action and side effects are less. Otherwise, benzodiazepine can be given. Folic acid 4 milligram daily to be started before pregnancy and to be continued throughout. Prenatal diagnosis with serum alpha fetoprotein at 16 weeks and detailed fetal anomaly scan at 18 weeks with real-time USGs including fetal echocardiography is to be done. There's a decrease in free level of most of the anticonvulsant in pregnancy. The reasons are delayed gastric emptying, reduced absorption, increased protein binding, nausea, vomiting, increase in plasma volume, increased hepatic metabolism, and renal clearance. Vitamin K 10 milligram day orally is given to the mother in the last 2 weeks. There is no contraindication for breastfeeding. Infant is given vitamin K 1 mg IM at birth to prevent neonatal hemorrhage due to decreased vitamin K dependent clotting factors. The infant may be drowsy. Readjustment of the anticonvulsant dosage is necessary and bring down the dose to the pre-pregnant level by 4 to 6 weeks of postpartum. Steroidal contraceptives are better to be avoided due to hepatic microsomal enzyme induction. The risk of having epilepsy of an infant born to a mother with a seizure disorder is 4 times higher compared to a normal one. Thank you.